Hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to do another breakdown, another tier list of the most recent Nintendo Partner Direct that just came out on the 21st of February. We did this last time for the previous Nintendo Direct and folks seemed to enjoy it, so I figured why not go ahead and do it again. Plus it's a good way for me to just kind of sort my thoughts and understand where I'm coming from and what I'm excited about in terms of upcoming Nintendo games. We're rocking the Valentine's bandana. I missed you all for Valentine's Day. I did not have a video out last week, so we got the heart bandana to make up for it. Got a nice cup of coffee, and let's break into some of these now. All right. And we're going to go in the order that Nintendo announced them, I think, or as close to it as we can be. I may have swapped one or two around. I can't fully recall, but our first one up here, this is Grounded. So Grounded was the former Microsoft exclusive. I think it's developed by Obsidian, and it is part of the 4 games that Xbox, Microsoft have recently announced that they are bringing to other platforms. So, they're taking some of their smaller IPs or, maybe ones that aren't quite as associated with the Microsoft brand, or they think makes sense for the audiences of other platforms like Nintendo, and they're bringing them over and giving them a shot and an opportunity to get a little bit of additional recognition and sales on those other platforms. So cool to see. I think a lot of folks kind of expected this to get announced in this Nintendo Direct, but all the same, nice to have the confirmation. I would put this firmly in the B category. I think it's cool. I've heard good things about the game. At this current phase in my life, a 4-player co-op game, not really my thing, or not really something I have time for, rather. I love a good co-op game. And I think it's something that I could enjoy, but realistically, I know I won't get around to it. And that actually is a good opportunity for me to say, these are all my opinions on how hype the announcements are. Obviously, different people have different interests, different genres, different series that they love. So yours may be entirely different. Next up here, we have Ender Magnolia, which is the sequel to Ender Lilies Quietus in the Night, a game that I've been meaning to play for a long time. I have not yet checked it out, but a lot of folks that I'm friends with that generally I agree with their taste have said that it's very good. Trav over on Polykill has said that he quite enjoys this game as well, so I think I'm going to throw this one in the A. I'm hyped. I'm glad that game did well enough to get a sequel, and it's one that I definitely will play. Now, I'll play the first game first, and I will not play this on Switch. I'll play it on another platform where it probably runs a little smoother, but this is the first I've heard of this game. Maybe it was announced previously. I don't know, but I'm going to call it a new announcement and say that I'm pretty freaking happy that game is getting made. Next one up here, this was one called Arranger, a role puzzling adventure. So kind of a top-down RPG meets grid-based puzzler. Very interesting mix of genres there, but I think cool. Not one that I've seen before either. Looks like a pretty neat indie game. It's coming out later this summer. This is kind of the perfect game to play during that summer slowdown when you don't have many other big releases coming out. Maybe you're working on like a nice summer RPG, but you want something smaller and more bite-sized at the same time. I'm going to put this at B. Not one of my most excited, but, it is very cool to see. Unicorn Overlord. This is the latest game from Vanillaware and published by Atlus. I love Vanillaware. Odin Sphere is one of my favorite games, as is 13 Sentinels, which was their most recent game. So very excited for this. Now, this trailer didn't really do much. It didn't confirm anything that we didn't already know, other than, they're saying, hey, it's a Switch game too, but this won't be a Switch game for me. So while the game itself is probably an S-level hype for me, certainly one that I will play near when it comes out, I'm going to put it in A. Happy to see it, but again, not on Switch. Monster Hunter Stories. So this is a port of the 3DS game, the first one, onto Switch. I think you could have probably predicted that this was coming when the sequel was announced for Switch and came out on Switch, so not too surprising, but neat all the same. a series that I've meant to try out. I've actually never played Monster Hunter at all, but I think that the turn-based RPG of it all might be a little more my speed. Although I've always wondered, is this game something that you can enjoy if you don't already know the monsters from Monster Hunter? Like, is this for fans of Monster Hunter, or is this a good introduction? I'm actually not too sure, so let me know. But I'll throw this one in probably B. Yeah, why not? Epic Mickey Rebrushed. So this is a remake of the, I guess like 7th gen platforming game Epic Mickey, all focused on paint. And it's one that has been in my backlog for, 10 years at this point? 12 years, however long it's been. It's an old game. I have a Wii copy still sitting around that I haven't played. And I think I have the sequel on Wii U. So I'm pretty happy to see this. I'm always happy to see 3D platformers getting some love. I definitely will play this, and it seems like this is probably going to be the version to play. So, you know what might bump it up on my backlog? Why not go ahead and give it an A? All right. Promise not everything will be A or B, but it's just kind of how we started. Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So this is the sort of like half sequel that every Shin Megami Tensei seems to get at this point, right? Like Shin Megami Tensei 4 Armageddon came out on 3DS. I think that's what it was called. Pretty sure. Or Apocalypse? Yeah, I think it was Apocalypse. But yeah, Vengeance, cool to see. I have not yet played this game, so I guess this is the version to play. This means I have to buy another version of it. I'm not sure. I'm assuming this is not going to be like DLC that you can purchase and add on to your existing game. It's probably a new cart that you have to buy. So I'm going to go ahead and throw it in B. It's cool. It's cool. They announced a Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection. This is, I think, the first 2 Battlefront games remastered and ported to Switch. I know this is going to ruffle some feathers, but this is just not a series that I've ever gotten into. I've played a little bit of Battlefront 1, kind of like 20 minutes of non-committal play. It was a good enough time, but I don't think that I'm going to like become a Battlefront guy. I'm happy for other people, so I guess I'll put it in C. That C is entirely me celebrating other people. South Park Snow Day. So I'm guessing this is the most recent South Park RPG. I actually haven't even played Stick of Truth yet, nor The Fractured But Whole. So another one that I'm going to probably toss into C. I'm glad these games keep getting made, and I've heard really good things about them, but just not a series that I'm caught up on, and South Park isn't really a series that I have much like affection for these days. My South Park era has kind of passed, and so yeah, cool enough. And not saying I won't play it, but it's definitely not a priority for me. Next one up here, we've got, what is this called? Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream, coming in 2024. I have never watched Sword Art Online, and I've never played any of these games. There's also a lot of these games. I just don't really understand which ones are which ones are remakes, which ones I should care about. So I have no idea where to even start with this series, let alone this game. I'm going to throw it in D because it's just not sort of white noise to me. If you're a fan of Sword Art Online, I'm happy for you. I'm surprised that Sword Art Online is popular enough to continue getting games. It's not an anime that I'm really aware of as like still popular, but maybe it is and I just don't realize. All right, next one up, we got Gundam Breaker 4, which is coming to Switch also in 2024. This is another series. I've never seen Gundam. I know, I hate to admit it. I would really like to watch it. I've had it recommended to me many, many times. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And these seem like games that are really specifically for like Gundam people. If you are in the weeds with Gundam and you really want to play some Gundam and tweak every little thing, every little piece of the mech, you know, add in little tiny dorsal fins and little kneecap guards and stuff like that in menus nested 5 layers deep, it's here for you. I think if I was in the mood for that type of thing, I'd probably go for Armored Core 6 first. So not too enticing for me personally. All right, let's get a little bevy break. Next one up here, we've got Super Monkey Ball Banana Rumble. This is, as far as I know, it's a new Super Monkey Ball game that was announced. That's pretty freaking cool. I love Monkey Ball. I love the first two Monkey Ball games in particular. 1 and 2 are nearly perfect games. No notes. Played them all the time. I do kind of agree with the general sentiment that the most recent Monkey Ball games aren't as good, but there are still some fun ones. If you've never played it, I recommend checking out Banana Splits on Vita. So if this was just like a modern version of those classic Monkey Ball games, not like a port, but like a new game designed in the spirit of those old ones, easy S rank. But I'm going to give it a cautious A rank. One that I'm personally excited for. I will play, but a little worried. Next one up here, we've got World of Goo 2 coming to Switch on May 23rd. It's a console exclusive, so it's not coming to PlayStation or Xbox, at least not at this point, I guess, which is interesting. But it does kind of make sense as a Switch game. It's got a little bit of Switch energy. Think of World of Goo 1 as a sort of classic WiiWare game. There's a lineage there. And so this is one that I'll definitely play. I haven't played World of Goo since it came out, but it is one of those like early indie games, very defining for the early indie market and sort of a breakout hit, proving that indie games can compete with modern AAA games at the time. So I have a lot of respect for it for that. I'm going to throw this one in A. I don't think I'll play it right away, but I'm just happy to see it there. So Fantasy Life I, the Girl Who Steals Time. So this is a new Fantasy Life game. It's coming out in October. And Fantasy Life is a series that I have the 3DS version. I've been meaning to play Fantasy Life for a long time. I just haven't gotten around to it. I think that I will definitely play it at some point, and it does seem like the type of game that I could get into. I'm just sort of hopping between, is this a C or a B? I do plan on playing this at some point, and I'm certainly more likely to play this than I am the Star Wars or South Park. So I suppose that is good, solid B tier information. All right, we've got another Crab's Treasure. So if you've never seen this, this is the sequel to Aggro Crab, which is a crab-based Souls-like. Is sort of every bit as weird as it sounds. And I don't know, it's charming, it's very cute. I haven't gotten around to the original one. I really should, but I'm happy to see that studio's, continuing on, going hard. Obviously, this one's coming out in April, so a slower time. Maybe the opportunity is there to check this one out. I just don't know if I need to play or should play the first one. But all the same, it's hard to say that we don't appreciate it. We'll give it a solid B. B is definitely my tier of like games I will eventually get to. So that makes sense. All right, here we go. Got Penny's Big Breakaway. For anyone that has not seen Penny's Big Breakaway, this is a modern 3D collectathon platformer, very much modeled in the style of those classic N64 era and GameCube era platformers. So if you're a fan of Sunshine, if you're a fan of Banjo-Kazooie, in this case, I would say there's probably some energy of stuff like maybe Billy Hatcher in there too. This is definitely one that you need to check out. Don't let this one slip by. It's both very exciting to me, and it was even cooler that it got shadow dropped. It was immediately available as soon as they announced this, which is awesome because this has been one of my most anticipated games for a long time. It's developed by some of the folks that made Sonic Mania. So, if you imagine that team took Sonic and they revitalized that franchise and made the best Sonic game that's come out in 15 years. I have absolute faith that they can do a great platformer. So this was my most hype announcement in the Direct by far. Even though I had already known about the game, it coming out today, Shadow Drop, is just so good. I'm so excited. I really, really wish that I could get around to it right now. Any other time of the year, I would definitely pop this one in immediately. But as it stands, we're a week away from Final Fantasy VII Rebirth coming out. I know I'm going to be focusing on that. Plus, I'm in the middle of a couple other games anyways. So it's just not really. I don't want to rush it, right? I don't want to force it into a time slot that I don't have. So at this point, I'm going to save it. You know, it seems like it might make a really good summer game too, right? It's bright, it's colorful, kind of like a circus energy to it. So that might be the perfect one for, May, June. You know, the sun's coming out, it's warmer, you can open those windows and a nice warm breeze rolls in. Play some Penny's Big Breakaway with a nice tall glass of iced coffee or an Arnie Palmer or something like that. I think that sounds like a great time. Heck yeah. We have the Suika game multiplayer mode. I actually have been playing a little Suika game lately. Some friends of mine got into it, and so we had a little bit of a score hunt. I'm not too up to date on where the sort of super cult status of this game came from. It seems like suddenly it got extremely popular out of nowhere, but all the same, Suika game is fun. That said, this multiplayer mode does nothing for me. It's basically they're adding kind of Tetris attack modes and some other mode called time attack mode, and they announced that online multiplayer is coming in the future, so not something that I'm going to engage with. Suika game is cool, but that update is kind of irrelevant to why I play. Pepper Grinder. So if you haven't seen this one, this is an extremely stylish, very cool looking indie game. All about using your grinder, your little spinning drill, to shoot through environments, objects, and navigate. It's very much, it's kind of a deep cut, I guess, but if you played Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and there was that ability you unlocked that lets you dig through and burrow through sand, imagine a game that expands that concept, fleshes it out to a full game. So I think that's awesome. That said, this is another one where I'm excited for it, but Switch is not where I'm going to play it. I could never give it a C. I think if just the game in terms of hype would be an A, but the game on Switch, I'm going to give that one a. I think that makes sense. I think I'm comfortable with that. Pocket Card Jockey. This is one that I've been recommended many times. I remember watching a friend of mine, Sir Chadley, stream this one on Twitch, the 3DS version, or maybe it's the mobile version, the Apple Arcade one. I can't recall. But this is available now. This is sort of a long-standing favorite amongst the Nintendo eShop crowd, and obviously with the eShop having gone away, there was no way to purchase that version, so you had to play the mobile version. But I think it's cool that they did a remaster, remake, whatever you want to call it, for this game. So many people seem to have such a reverence for. This is what I will definitely check out. I'm going to say it kind of hops between B and A. Let's put it on B. All right. And we've got some new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Heck yeah. So this is sort of a double-edged sword, right? So all of these are rare games. So it's Battletoads and Double Dragon, RC Pro-Am, Killer Instinct, Blast Corps, and Snake Rattle and Roll. So, you got some NES, some Super Nintendo, and some N64 games there, which is... But obviously this means that we're never getting Rare Replay on Switch, right? A lot of these games are from Rare Replay, so if we're getting them piecemeal like this, that is never coming. That said, even though this is not how I would play these, because I actually own most of these physically anyways, and I'm not even a Switch Online subscriber, I'm still going to put this in A, because I'm so happy that more people can play Blast Corps. If you have not played Blast Corps, please, for the love of God, check it out. It is so much fun. It's so unique. It's like nothing else on the N64, and honestly, it's like nothing else in general. It's awesome. And finally, we have Endless Ocean Luminous. This was their finale announcement, which was kind of surprising to me. It's for a certain type of person, Endless Ocean is certainly like a showstopper, but I think for most, it's it's fine, right? It's just fine. But I'm happy to see this series continue. I do kind of associate this with Nintendo, and it reminds me of that Wii era. Blue Ocean, sort of just crazy, anything goes. Again, anything from that DS and Wii sort of time makes me nostalgic in a way I can't really explain. Plus, all the All-Gen Gamers fans will definitely be happy to see more Endless Ocean. That said, For me, it's not one I think I'm really going to play. Maybe I'll check it out, but it's a pretty low priority. I'd put it in C, but like, maybe top of the C. It'd be maybe low B, but I'm going to put it at the top of C right there. They did say that it was like it almost sounded like it'd be like procedurally generated. Like every time you do a dive, it's a little bit different. So that's kind of cool. But there we have it. That is everything from this recent Nintendo Direct. There was like one sort of rapid fire montage of like 4 or 5 games. Pentiment was in there, which is another Xbox game that I didn't put on here. Those are all fine, but they showed like 5 seconds of gameplay, and it's like, they didn't really speak to any of the details, so I didn't bother putting them on. But all in all, I think a pretty solid Nintendo Direct, you know? Lots of cool stuff. A lot of these games I'm excited for. At least 5 or 6 of these I will definitely be playing. More of them on a longer time frame. By the time I die, I'll have played probably everything down through the beat here. Or we can only hope. So, yeah. Really fun. Let me know what your most exciting announcement was from the Direct. You know, if there's anything that you feel like really spoke to you or got you really amped up, I love to hear that. Love to build the hype. That'll do it for me today. Until next time.